All right, got my cold drinks. My AC's working. We're good to go.
Woo!
All right, ready. Let them in.
Let him in. Nice.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. Great to have you all here. How's everyone doing? I'm excited for today. We've got some great things planned for you. So many possibilities. All right. Letting everybody in. Okay. So let's begin. How y'all doing? Who here was here? Who attended yesterday? Yeah, good. Anybody want to share anything from yesterday or any realizations they may have had? Um, or maybe even any challenges. We can get you cleared right away. Kind of open up the floor here, communication with all y'all. Would anybody like to share? Hey, this is for you. I'm not here to clear me. All right, Christopher, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Um, yes. We were going. One thing she went through yesterday was how other people influenced you or made you take on other people. And
Right.
I'm a grateful person 98% of the time. But I have a friend of mine that likes to complain over in a reactionary way over like the dumbest things. It's too hot. The door closed the wrong way. Some sounded funny. I mean, the littlest stuff, and I didn't even realize that I had taken that up and doing it my own
Hmm.
mind, even if it's only for a second or for a little bit of time before I bounced back. I realized that had rubbed off on me, and I hadn't even picked up on it or even thought to clear it because I didn't really pay attention to it, and we got that cleared up yesterday.
Yeah, fantastic. What a way to have more awareness as to how we're being affected and how we're being influenced and how we're not being at cause and being reactionary and just going by default, right? And just by you just asking some of those questions to be aware of it, how helpful, right?
Right. I don't know if this is the right time you mentioned about having clearings for several weeks. I've been having this problem with the top with my right leg to where like it hurts to sit down. That's why I was laying down when we started the call,
Sure.
and it got really bad yesterday sitting, and so I'll just so I was I just said I only bring it up since you mentioned if we need any clearings. This my right knee and my right hip are both aching, especially if I sit down or if I lay on my right side.
Yep. Okay.
Standing's not so bad.
Yeah, so keep that in mind when we do our initial first clearings when we kind of get tuned in. Um, Thank you for bringing that up. I was really intending in case like things came up from like the exercises we've done, and maybe that has come up from the things we've done because that can happen. So, yeah, keep that in mind when we do our initial clearings, and we'll check in with you as well.
All
Yes.
right.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing, and that is a fantastic cognition that hey, I realize I my some of my friends aren't so positive and I may have been taking some of those things on. And I think that goes for everybody, right? That's why the process is so important because we take on everyone's behaviors and how they speak, especially if you have a group of friends you have a deep connection and rapport with, you end up speaking and talking just like them. And then you end up making decisions just as they would because you have this deep innate need to be accepted by the group, or else if you get kicked out of the group back in the day, that could mean death, right? And so these are really fundamental things to survive. However, in this different world, uh, it's maybe not so practical, right? So awesome share. Very cool. Alicia, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I ended up joining yesterday, and then I came really late on Friday. I actually was so exhausted. I had a giant nap and actually slept through the the day one session.
Okay.
But I caught up with it today, and I was finding the memory was there's definitely a lot of emotions that were coming up during that point in time, which I thought was interesting. And then the confronting one was interesting. I was definitely feeling more energized after that earlier today.
Nice.
And I was also appreciating, I think I'm just appreciating this different format. I'm liking the focus on the foundationals components, because I think it really it's such a critical piece of, if you don't have the foundations in place, it's really hard to even consider working on anything else. So I think making sure that the foundations are in place first of clearing some of these, like uh I think a lot of those topics that were on the list is relevant to everyone, right? So making sure that there's a baseline of that first kind of level sets everyone in a really good place. So just appreciating that.
Right. Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up, because you've been through the practitioner program and you've learned a lot of these clearing techniques that we're doing here,
Yeah.
and it's phenomenal. And you can apply it to so many areas in your life. And like you're saying, it's nice to know what are the fundamentals that maybe, if I were to just start clearing, if I want to work on all the things in my life and just want to feel better, where do I start? And that's really a completely different approach and a completely different training and so much more other information. But now that you have the basics on how to clear, now if we just give you, okay, start working on this and now start working on that. Now you can use the clearing techniques you learned and then apply them to these really fundamental things. I mean, yesterday I shared a very specific list and in very general terms, but it kind of gives you the ideas. If you work on all these 6, 7, 8, 9 things, everything's going to change and become more easier to clear everything else. So thank you for recognizing that, because it's very powerful to go through.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far, and it was interesting because I was actually I had a voice class yesterday before the call. And it was just interesting.
Like singing, or what kind of
Yeah,
voice?
yeah, like singing.
Oh, great. Nice.
But I think what was really powerful from that conversation is just how important your voice is, in terms of your voice being authentic to you and your expression of who you are in the world. And I mean, one of the things that we were talking in a singing class was just, do people actually have that alignment of owning their voice, owning their power? And then I think what you were clearing yesterday in the class was, how much of yourself are you, versus, like, is it safe to be yourself, or are you kind of taking on these other traits as a reaction to where it wasn't safe to be? And it was interesting because I've never really related to having a concern about not being safe. I think it's been actually one of my lowest priorities. I've never really feeling like it's a concern, but I can see where perhaps it's still been impactful on me, of how I've just picked up different traits of being very independent, or very, like, kind of not needing other people, or I think there's a number of different things, but yeah. So those are kind of some of the cognitions. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing it up again, because we could all rehash this information over and over again to really realize how important it is. So thank you for sharing your cognitions. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, and all these topics that we're just touching on, there's a lot of depth to them. And my intention is to help share those of you who really want to take care of these things, to have the full procedure available, because it's just really unknown in this world. First off, to have a clearing method that works a lot of the time, and then second off, a complete structure, which I'm so grateful to have access to and to be able to share. Let's see. Paris 2? Paris 2? You got your hand up?
Yes.
Is that
Hello,
how you...
everyone.
Hi there.
I'm so excited.
Great.
Unfortunately, I missed yesterday's session
Okay.
because I fell asleep. But I was awake all night and I was watching yesterday's record session. I just finished it and now I feel great and light. I just can say it was fantastic. Thank you, Michael, for doing this.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for voicing your experience and sharing how it was helpful for you. Um, yeah, it's amazing to me. You know, we can go through and watch the recordings and it can still be highly beneficial, which is a relief to me because we can record and you guys can catch up on it later, and it helps, which is cool. But what did you get the most out of it? What part of it did you enjoy the most?
One of my blogs that related to my father was being angry and saying something that I would be regret after saying it. So I think I released that blog and it helped me a lot because it was annoying me for a long time.
Right. Yeah. That's fantastic. And how do you feel when you think about it now?
I feel calmer, and I think um, after this, when I get angry, I would watch my words and think before saying something.
There we go. That's where it's at. Less reaction,
Mhm.
more conscious control. That's where it's
Yeah,
all at. Congratulations. That's a big win.
thank you.
And imagine being able to do that in all areas. You know, that's one of the big areas. And I'm going to in a little bit I'm going to show you in a very well portrayed animation of the reaction mind. The part of the mind that before you would be emotional and reaction and have reactions with, right? And now
Right.
there's not a reaction because the memories have been moved from one part of the mind to the other. And I'm going to show a video in a little bit at some point on this call of what that is. And so you all can understand it even more. And so now you can take this experience, and when you watch the clip, you're going to go, ah, that's what I did. That's what we're doing. How
Yes,
phenomenal.
thank you. I'm so excited for this session.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for being here. By the way, how do you say your name?
What?
How is your name pronounced? Paris 2?
Harassment. Yes.
Paris 2. All right, fantastic. Just want to confirm that. All right, thank you. And Relin, I believe you had your hand up next.
Yes, all right. So,
Yeah.
Michael, good evening. So it's been two interesting things I've noticed. One of them was obviously that when I had that habit but yesterday when I would repeat certain goals I had in my mind out loud randomly, I began to speak about them rather than just repeat them now when it came up. And so I realized when I did that now, since I did the illness removal yesterday, it made me feel more clear about what I was doing. So that was not just what I was doing, but it just made the energy of thinking about those topics more free. Also, I noticed when I was studying today, it felt for that French test that's coming up, because I was saying those memory things to myself, it felt easier. Now, when I say easier, I don't necessarily mean just the material, but whereas before I might have sat down and been, okay, let's try and remember this. I have to study this. I have to study this. Now it's kind of like, okay, let's read this. Oh yeah, I know this. It's just hard to. It was new material, not the same material, but just something in me made the actual process of studying feel less cumbersome. Sort of almost like when you look at the YouTube videos, almost like a study equivalent removal. Sort of if there was a money process equivalent. I haven't done any money process, but if there was a study equivalent of a money process, almost as if I have a study sort of block where I know how to study, but the weight of it is gone. The third thing that was really cool that I noticed is I was getting up about some comments. Someone said like, "Oh, I'm tired of this world a little bit," and then I canceled the thought and I thought, wait a minute, why am I acting the way my grandfather did when he was? My grandfather was really positive, but when he wasn't well, some challenges. So I was like, why do I act the negative way? And then I transmuted and I was like, okay, well I can keep. Why can't I act the positive way that I know this person that he has? I'm like, okay, everything's going to be great. That was a quicker shift. I know how to do it, but it was a quicker shift. And finally, I noticed a strange we all talk about the whole circadian rhythm and sleep, but because I had this cold, I noticed I was resting most of the day. And for whatever reason, even though I was maybe resting a little bit before the session, this time of day right now, before I come to do the session, before I've come in the last 3 days, it feels like this is actually the morning when I feel all fresh, even though it's 10 p.m. in my local time in Moncton. So that must just be going through the process and what it's doing. But that's just an observation I've had starting today, that right now it felt like this is actually the morning, and whenever I do eventually go to sleep is actually the evening, and then the day is kind of like night. I don't know. It must just be the energy doing its work, but just kind of, and I just finally I got to a cognition as I finish up, is that I know that we talk about different things we can do. Some of us do the gym training, etc. And I've come to realize that this has been very good for me, because anything I might do in a higher level, or if I do money process, even though they're different things, I came to this cognition that I actually needed to have this energy work, so that I actually know at least a little bit of what it is, even though the other experiences might be different, so that I actually feel more palpably in person what energy feels like in a more direct way, rather than just sort of maybe what I would have had exposed to in the past. So yeah, that's my sort of testimony, as it were, for today.
All right. Thank you for sharing. That's quite a round of realizations and experiences.
you.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, I feel doing this work, it's something very special, because I don't really see people doing what we're doing here in this kind of way. And this does help you experience what energy is. When you have a release, and some individuals are a little bit more sensitive than others, right? But it's not some like magical thing, although on some level it is magical, but it's also very practical too. Like, your emotions are the energy. The way you feel is the energy, right? When you feel better, that's an energy shift, right? And then sometimes you'll feel tingles, or you feel the heat, or you feel your blood pumping differently, right? Or temperature changes and so forth. Or some of us, you start to see things, or feel things, or hear things, and your senses become, they change, right? Or they become enhanced. So, yeah, great points. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Kate, you have your hand up. Please share.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I shared yesterday, and obviously it was on a really big topic. Like feeling like some valence from my mother.
The mother valence, yeah.
Mother valence, like, just feels like it's sort of the big thing, and and I got a bit triggered into that I was too intense, or I was too deep, or like my share was too strong or something.
You mean on the call sharing?
Yeah, on the call.
Absolutely not. We're very grateful you shared your experience and where you're at, because it's real, right?
Okay, cool. But that triggered me, right? That's the
right.
family pattern, is that Kate's shares are always too much.
Right.
That whole thing. I'm too much. I'm too intense or too emotional, or whatever. I was identified as a Scorpio, but yeah. So. And I'm not that great in the evening, so I just let my evening go. But in the morning, I woke up and got triggered again into that. And I used your clearing process and the unleashing process, and I went through all of the points and did the whole protocol 2 or 3 times, and really got to some really good stuff. Had a little cry about my mum, because she's in hospital right now and stuff. But yeah, just this process, it is gold. I'm so grateful. That's what I want to
cool.
to share here. Is that this is, yes, I've got a lot of stuff to work through, but I've come across the Callaghan process. In fact, I've been doing it for 20 years, but not to this degree.
Right. So
I'm really interested in all of what you're sharing here. This is fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate the share. Yeah, this is gold, and I have released a lot of what I'm doing for you guys to be able to do on your own, because I think everyone should learn it. We're kind of opening up the door for things to work on and things to find, and how to feel better and coming to new realizations. And this is a process of continual clearing, right? I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to give you guys the clearings and help you get started. But really, my intention is not for you to rely on me, right? Because there's only so much I can do for so many people. The intention is that you get to learn how to do this for yourself. So just like you see what I'm doing for myself and others, you can do. So thank you, Kate, for sharing. And I think, Reelin, you're complete. So I'm going to bring your hand down, unless you want to share. If you have anything else to share.
No, everything is good.
All right, fantastic. Great to have you here. Cool. All right. So this has been a free 3-day energy clearing journey. And today I have another very powerful process to go through. Again, this is another process that's kind of on the higher levels of processing. And I'm kind of putting myself into a kind of a chancy place, because this is a high step or a high gradient to go through. But I know a lot of you will have powerful releases with this. And if by chance any of these commands or these questions or these focuses don't make sense, please do raise your hand so we can help you clarify. And if by chance you don't feel like you're getting any answers, allow yourself to really just relax with wherever you're at, to the best of your ability. And if you need to, you can always re-watch this. I'm going to send out the replay either tonight or tomorrow, and you can always go through this again if you didn't completely understand or get the benefits, or you feel like you got the benefits out of it, right? So yeah. So before we begin, I am going to start with just some initial group clearings for everybody to get focused. Okay, so just notice how you feel. Rub your sore spots and acknowledge anything that's keeping you from feeling even better than right now. So even though I may feel a little stressed from today, I still love and accept myself. Even though I may feel some tension in my body right now, I still love and accept myself. Even though I feel like I should be further ahead than where I am, I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself with who I am and where I'm at. Such a great place to start. Now focus on the center of your head and tap your collarbones, please. Notice the mental activity. Tap your ribs. Very good. Focus on your third eye. Tap your collarbone. Top of the head. Inside eyebrow. Still focused on the third eye. Focus on your root chakra. Head squeeze, exhale on the sides of the head as you focus on the root chakra. Tap on the back of the hand. Eyes open, eyes closed. Eyes open. Look down to the left, down to the right, round a circle, opposite direction. Hum out loud. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum out loud again. Deep breath in and out. So I can tell we're getting a lot of overactive thinking cleared for you guys. Okay. Next, focus on 7 chakras above your head. Tap your collarbone and allow yourself to feel more connected to the universe, to yourself, to your higher self, to God, however you want to put it. How does that feel when you focus on that? Head squeeze, exhale twice. Let that focus. One of the big fundamentals for us to intuitively know what to do and what to clear is you being connected to your higher self. That's real. That's where we get the answers. That's ideally where we're working from. And every time you're doing these clearings, that's ultimately what's happening. Okay? Focus 5 chakras above the head. Head squeeze on inhale twice. There we go. Great. Okay, good. Notice how you feel now compared to before. Hopefully a little more relaxed, a little more at ease. A little more comfortable, a little more in present time. Christopher, focus on your heart chakra, the issue with your leg, tap your chin. I'm even better at getting over this.
I'm even better at getting over this.
Head squeeze, exhale once, focus on your heart chakra with your leg. I am even better at getting over this.
I'm even better at getting over this.
Tap your collarbone, same focus. I am always even better at getting over this.
I am always even better at getting over this.
Okay? I want you to take your 2 hands with index and middle fingers and put them at just to the outside of the tippity top of your head. So if you go to the tippity top just straight ahead, at the top, that's where we normally tap for the top point. But then just go out slightly to the sides. Hold contact with those 2 points. Keep your eyes open. Look to the right with your eyes open. Take a deep breath in, hold at the top. Repeat in your mind silently. I release all blocks with happiness with my leg. Hold, repeat. Release all blocks with happiness with my leg. Exhale, release. You can bring your hands down. Close your eyes. Look to the right with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath in, hold. Repeat silently. I release all blocks with worried with my leg. Exhale, release. Okay. As you feel your leg, what do you notice now?
I feel a lot better.
Tap your chin. What do you still notice there? Tap your ribs. Under the nose. Top of the head. Ribs. How does it feel now?
I felt a huge release. It's
Yeah.
It's and my knee. I think my knee's completely well. I don't feel any more pain
There we go.
in my knee.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less. And now it doesn't seem aggravated just by sitting down. What little bit of soreness is left, it's not hindering me from near as much as it was.
All right, fantastic.
I feel a lot calmer.
Good. Let the energy keep flowing and allow that to heal. Fantastic. Hope that's helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's begin. All right. So the subject we're going to work on is a very interesting subject that I talked about briefly yesterday. And it's kind of like this passive aggressive kind of thing that a lot of us act out. And this creates a lot of judgment. And holy cow, I got a hornet flying in the house here. I may have to take care of this. Lotus, can you talk for a second? I'm going to open the window and see if I can get this thing out of here.
Sure thing. You get on that.
And can you talk about your experience of, we did this with you, and the example was your mom burnt
Oh, yeah.
dinner.
Oh, my God.
Your mom burnt dinner, and so share what happened there, please. 'Cause-
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael, with all this work he's been doing, has been practicing with me to bring this all to you. And so he's working through one of these examples that we're going to do tonight. And he said, okay, now think of some situation that happens in your life. And we're reading this example, and it said, for example, someone burning dinner. And I went, oh my God. My mom always burns dinner, like especially pancakes. Like she burns pancakes like every time. And I'm always like, Mom, I'm like, can you just maybe pay more attention? Like I get so frustrated, it gets smoky. I'm like, oh my God, like it's been so frustrating. It's like her thing. And so I kind of like, I get a little angry, like I get frustrated. I'm like, can you stop burning the freaking pancakes? Like, what's it going to take? You know, we all have someone in our life we have that kind of dynamic with, right? So we start doing the processing, and Michael's kind of laughing, you know, pancakes and burning pancakes, right? It's kind of funny. And so we get into it. And so I think one of the questions is kind of like, so what's right about burning the pancakes? And I was just like stumped. I was like, how could there be anything right about burning the friggin' pancakes, right? But then as I took a moment with it and I allowed myself to feel it, I was like, oh, well, she gets to feel like she has some control, right, over her energy, right? If she burns the pancakes, she is taking charge of her kitchen. She's claiming her kitchen. And so I felt like maybe there was some kind of passive aggressive thing with her. Long story short, I end up getting these rushes of compassion and realize where my mom has been coming from all these years with burning the pancakes through doing these processes took me back to remembering that my mom, as a young child, her mom got sick and her mom couldn't be there for her. And she had to become the person who cooked dinner for everyone starting like age 10 or age 12. So she had to cook dinner, she had to clean, she basically had to become mama at a really early age. And I realized, like, this whole burning the pancakes thing, it's just her being, that inner child, super frustrated that she has to be cooking, just unresolved trauma. And I felt this incredible compassion. So now she started doing a little bit less, but it happened the other day. And I was like, Mom, it's like, do you need a hug? I was like, how are you doing? Instead of getting angry at her, I felt this like genuine like compassion and concern of like, she's not trying to do this. There's just a part of her that's really wounded. And the burning of the pancakes has been a way that she's been able to kind of take control or say, well, I don't want it, like kind of subconsciously, maybe I don't really want to cook the food, so I'm going to burn it. So it was mind altering. And after we finished doing the clearing, I don't honestly know what all got cleared, but I was literally sitting there like I felt like I was levitating. And it felt like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you're just like, you're so chilled out that you literally can barely string a sentence together. You're just kind of like, yeah. And you like know you're supposed to talk, but I just couldn't even really think of anything for a couple of minutes. And Michael's like, it's okay. He knew what was going on. So thank you, Michael. It's really changed my relationship with my mom. And I'm having so much more compassion with her. And I think some other things changed too that I don't even really know what they were, but I feel much better overall, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big win. And something you
Huge.
would never think would be connected in that kind of way. And I love to hear how you just have so much more compassion for her and understanding for her. Really special.
Yeah.
And it just changed the dynamic with you guys in that kind of way.
It did. And with pancakes too.
And with yeah. And so that's one example of what it comes down to is I'm right and you're wrong at the base of that. And so we do things we're putting up walls with people and judgments, and really ultimately we're trying to protect ourselves from a past situation to happen again. Claiming our power. We're escaping being dominated, right? So instead of being dominated, we feel like we have to dominate in the situation. Like your mom dominating the kitchen. I'm gonna burn the pancakes and I'm gonna control how you feel, kind of thing, right?
I could feel it too. Like I could sense there was like something going on, right?
Yep. And this is to help her survive in a past situation. And so we're going to help you guys find circumstances like that. And then we're going to go through it and help you guys have this release. So, have you ever had a time where you thought someone was wrong and you were right? Can anybody share a time when someone else was wrong and you were right? Gene, go ahead. Many times, Alicia says. Yeah. that's going to be helpful for you.
Sorry, I lived, excuse me, for 9 years underneath an upper apartment and next door to a yard where there was a dog. And for 9 years, the dog was left in the yard and it barked. It barked a lot.
Yeah.
And I was probably the main person that heard it. I was the closest to it.
Yeah.
And the guy upstairs worked in construction, and this floor was squeaky, and he would always wear his work boots. Tromp, 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 right above my bed. And this went on for 9 years, and there were lots of good things that happened. But you know, I asked him if he could do anything like fix the squeak or put in carpet or take his boots off, and he never did, right? And after I move out, he upgrades the whole place, and he apologizes for not doing that before, and the dog died.
Yep.
So all that time, I'm feeling like I'm right and these people are wrong.
Yeah, very good. Can you recall another time when someone else was wrong and you were right?
Well, I think I do. I've done this a lot. Protect myself. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Lots of examples I could come up with.
Sure. What's the first example that comes to mind?
When I was maybe 4 years old, my brother, who had been my only playmate, told me I couldn't come with him to, visit his friend. And that was a really scary thing for me because he was my sort of link to the world. My parents were busy doing their thing. And that was maybe more of a scar than a, but I felt like, oh, how can I function? Like it made me afraid, I would say.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I could see that I'm right, you're wrong as a way to defend myself.
Yeah. What made him wrong?
Just not choosing me, not explaining to me why I couldn't come, not helping me with an alternative. Because he had helped me with a lot of things, learn how to tie my shoes and many things, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And can you answer this? What do you use to make others wrong? And this is also a question for everyone else.
Yeah.
Notice what answers may come to mind. Go ahead. Yep.
It's the logic of the moment when I'm feeling hurt. It's using logic to try to defend myself against getting hurt.
Okay, so using logic. Very good. What kind of logic?
The logic of a wounded person who doesn't know quite what to do in that moment to feel okay and that I'm going to make it in the world, which is, full of examples of people doing things we don't like, right?
Yeah. Very good. You're doing fantastic. What is something else you may use to make others wrong?
Besides something they say or do, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I see someone who's really overweight and eating junk food, like I may judge that.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Good. What's something else that you use to make others wrong?
If somebody doesn't clean up after themselves.
Mm-hmm. Very good. You're doing fantastic. What is something else you use to make others wrong?
They don't follow through with something they're doing or learning.
Okay.
Or they attack me. Like, yeah, I've done this a lot. Very defensive.
Yeah. Doing fantastic. Is everybody else getting answers as well as you reflect on yourself? Yeah. Good. What else do you use to make others wrong? And I would be jotting these down, by the way, kind of listing them out. Gene, I got you. Go ahead.
You want me to get specifics or more general statements?
Everyone go ahead and dip your chin. I got you keyed in now. Head squeeze, exhale once. Root chakra. Sore spot. As you focus on your root chakra, just notice how you feel as you're bringing up these things of others being wrong and you being right. And notice what the feeling is, even though I feel like what? And Gene, what's the feeling you have as you're bringing these things up? Even though I feel like what?
Even though I feel sort of weak and inadequate that I do this, I still love and accept myself.
Fantastic. Good. Deep breath in and out. Focus on your mouth chakra. Tap your chin. There's a mouth chakra? Yeah, there's a mouth chakra, yeah. Tap your ribs. Collarbone. Head squeeze, exhale once. Yeah. Okay. Good. Gene, what do you use to make others wrong?
Things that I say or avoidance of them, like not including them. Retreating into my private space could also be that.
Very good. Next question. Notice what comes up in your mind as I ask. In this lifetime, what do you use to make yourself right?
Well, I used to use the "I'm smarter than you" trick.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
Good. In a new unit of time, what do you use to make yourself right?
Repeat the first part of that. In a new unit of time, is that what you said?
So I'm saying, so in a new unit of time, asking the question again to get a different answer or whatever answer comes next. So kind of
Okay.
same question, new unit of time, new experience. Thank you for asking. So in this lifetime, what do you use to make yourself right?
explaining or over explaining.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to make yourself right?
Finding a justification.
Mm-hmm.
Preferences. Lots of preferences.
Very good. Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Do you want to know a way that I
Awesome.
worked to try to overcome this, or should I just continue following you?
Please follow me. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. We're gonna go through ways to overcome it. Thank you. You did fantastic. You got a lot of information. Any cognitions through those questions?
Well, that's what I was going to share, but I can wait.
So that was a cognition or something from the past that you're pulling up?
Well, I'm not totally sure what you mean by cognition. Is that a new awareness?
A new awareness, a new connection of elements together, cogniting information in a new way.
Well, one thing I did when I traveled by myself for many years was to not be perfect about the directions to the new place and allow myself to get lost so I could make a connection with a stranger in this new place and open myself up to the helpfulness and rightness of other people. So that was one of my practices.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm going to stay on track here with these questions. Thank you, Jean. You did fantastic. Anybody else want to participate? Or share some of the things that they got to help everyone really understand where we're going with this and what is happening? Alicia, go ahead. What kind of answers came up for you?
Yeah, I don't know that I really want to share, but I feel gross right now. Yeah, so the kind of answers that were coming up was there could be comparison, getting the agreement of other people. There's a lot of judgment. Yeah, just judging how people treat other people, how they spend money, how they spend time, how they act, how they don't act, what are the actions they take or don't take, and whether that corresponds to them getting a bad result. And then how I make myself right is like, I'm smarter than you, I know better, you're doing it wrong, and there's like a lot of justifications.
Yeah.
And I think the comparison of like who's doing it better. Yeah.
Very good. So you notice how there's a little bit of similarity there, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Any cognitions from that?
Well, I do hate the comparison piece, because I grew up in an Asian culture where it's the comparison can be quite toxic. And I know like how impactful that can be. So
Great. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. That's very helpful. Debbie, you had your hand up too. Did you want to share?
Yeah, so some things, this was like really big for me, that question, because I feel like I really have a lot of critical judgment. I grew up in a religious setting, and then I didn't have anything to do with it, but I've taken on some of the critical capacity.
Did she disappear? Okay. Now you're there. Your connection's a little spotty. It was a little choppy as you were talking to. You want to finish off what you were sharing? I want to make sure you're able to get that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
So this, the gossip just to justify how I'm feeling. I especially, I feel enraged when people, how they treat animals and children, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, it's like I become someone different.
Yeah.
If I see someone mistreating animals and children, I want to kill them.
Okay, understandable. Yep. And so in that circumstance, what do you use to make them right? I'm sorry, to make you right and them wrong.
Okay, so interestingly enough, it triggered me yesterday. My first customer saw me feeding, well, not feeding, saw me giving water to a stray cat. And he came in and I said, "Good morning." And his first thing was out of his mouth, "You do realize that they're gonna keep coming around?" And I said, "Absolutely, that's what I'm looking for of them, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "You're what's wrong with the world." And that triggered me. And if it would have been my business, I wouldn't have sold him a damn thing. But it wasn't my business. And I remembered what you said. So I allowed him to tell me what he thought about me. And I got through my day and even laughed about it.
Very good.
But before I couldn't have laughed about it.
Okay, very good. So what do you use to make them wrong and you right in those circumstances?
Words. I use words, Jim. Like cutting words, but with a smile.
Okay, you use words. And why do you use words? What's the reason why you use the words you do? What are you using to make them wrong? Not just your words, but
cutting their heads off to make myself look taller.
Okay, interesting answer. Okay. Your connection's a little spotty too.
Yeah. Is that better?
It's still about the same or so, but you keep going in and out, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you're moving the phone.
It's been like that all day.
Okay.
Hey, Debbie, maybe try turning off your video
That
and
can
just
help,
use
yeah.
audio. That might help.
Yeah, thank you, Lotus.
Okay, very good. So I'm trying not to go into stories and experiences in your past and things. I'm just trying to get, just getting the answer. And so, this is one of the things that we deal with earlier on too, is because you want to share the stories and it's all emotional and on and on and on and on and on. But that's also what prevents your information from flowing and your energy from flowing, is because you're attached onto stories, you're attached onto circumstances, and you can't let them go. And I need to tell you everything that happened with this other person, and on and on and on. And so you're holding on to things without
That's right.
that flow. And, it's a process, and we're learning how to do this. And so as we continue to answer these different questions that I'm prompting for you guys to get the information to unfold, allow yourself to just notice what it is. Good. And what's the next answer? Oh, interesting. Oh, what's the next answer? Interesting. Oh, there's a story to go with that. Oh, interesting. Right? Instead of, I need to tell you everything. And this is common. Everyone does this. Right? So very good. I'm gonna move on here. Gregors, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what I got from this I got first cognition. It's with if someone trusts my story, or if it's not. So if it's something that I am right or if someone is wrong. and I judging based on how they treat animals, how they behave, how they treat their parents, and like my conclusion and cognition out of this was if they are against life itself. So either they go with life, trying to nourish life, trying to go with the divine idea of expansion of life, or they try to stop life or limit the life, the ability to grow. So what I get and how I deal with that, I try to inform. I try to go into the trying to kind of like be a teacher or give the perspective of what the potential outcome in the future can bring if the behavior going to be repeated or that
Right.
path going to be like where this path can lead to give this future kind of perspective of the outcome.
Okay. Very good. And so what do you use to make others wrong?
So I use my words to inform, and I want to use my perspective of how I see potential future and where this future leads. If it's against the life, it's trying to limit the life, the ability to grow, expand. I'm trying to share my perspective, how I see it, and usually stop at that with the informing. But if someone going to evaluate my private space, then it's can escalate to either like physical things or things like that.
Okay.
Depends of the like the boundaries or the bubble of boundaries, I would say.
Good. So what do you use to make others wrong?
I use my judgment and I use my ability to see the future, where
Very good.
the steps can lead.
Good. What do you use to make others wrong?
I use my connection with the divine to check what kind of feeling and frequency the answer or potential timeline is leading me to.
Fantastic. What do you use to make yourself right?
I use my intention to connect with the divine, to ask and to project the best possible outcome.
Very good. What do you use to make yourself right?
That's interesting. So the next layer is what I want to be. I want to be in the present moment of now. If I am in the present moment of now, the right is already here, established, because it's in the now.
Very good. That's a great place to be. Good job.
Thank you.
You feel how it's drawn this out of you, right? And you already had very high level awareness answers, but didn't it bring you to a place too, right? It brought you to what you were explaining, right?
Yes, definitely. That
Yeah.
is so many layers,
Right.
and cognition and it's leading to present moment of now, and just being in the moment of now, being here, present, ready to just be yourself. That's for me, it's the right thing to be in the present.
Maybe that's what all of these things are doing from all the different directions.
Thank you, Michael, for
You're welcome.
giving me this opportunity to see this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Very good. Okay, Relind, go ahead.
Hello. So in my case, the long story short is that
I'm
without
gonna
the stories,
let's keep the stories very
without the story.
very
Okay.
short. Yeah, we want to
Okay.
because there's a thing here of you're staying in a certain focus. We all have a focus going on here. As soon as people start going into stories, it takes everyone out of the focus.
Okay. So the focus.
So we're asking questions, and you're
And getting
allowing the
answer.
information to unfold. And you're
Okay.
you're noticing what's happening in your mind, and you're just noticing what the answer is.
Interesting. So
Without
basically,
the story
yes.
going on and just
Makes
oh,
sense.
here's the
That's what
answer.
I've known. Okay, so with this case here, what I basically noticed is all the reasons that I had listed for how I can understand why I'm right or how I can understand others are wrong are related to things I've either observed or know or have revealed to me by God or have revealed to me through my senses or through my spiritual senses, etc. Now, I realized when I looked at all of them, the root of them as I was going through was logic. And in turn, the fact that I understood logic was the root of them had me thinking, well, what am I defining as logic? And honestly, the things that surprised me, the real cognition, the big cognition, with the second part of it, A, that the root was logic, but B, that I was actually defining logic as how I feel after looking at all those sources of information that I consider reliable and unreliable. And then the third step was realizing, wow, here I am thinking that all the sources and information that I look at and how I feel make me right, whereas I'm projecting a type of postmodernism which I always found was inaccurate, because I do believe that absolute truth exists and that postmodernism is a form of self-indulgence and chaos and denial. So because of that, I realized that my actual definition of how I was coming to knowing that I'm right, despite it not being a postmodernist method, was actually a logic rooted in feeling by the end of all my analysis, which again turned into a type of postmodernist process despite not having a postmodernist answer to it.
Okay, ready?
Which is,
So, thank you for sharing.
all right.
I'm gonna now have you answer these questions.
Okay.
Short answers, not to cut you off or anything, but not to let the story continue to unfold, so we can draw the information out of you. Okay.
Makes sense. All right.
So ready. These are different questions here.
All right.
So, let me know the first thing that comes to mind, and then after you say that, I'm going to ask again, and we'll continue going through and just notice what unfolds. And everyone, please follow along as well and note to yourself the answers that come up. Okay?
Okay.
In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others? You can give yourself a moment.
Right. Logic.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Stubbornness.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Insistence.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Knowingness.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Type of pride and occasional mediocrity.
Very good. Everyone, head squeeze on exhale once. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Naturalism.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Power.
Head squeeze, exhale once on the sides. And if you have more answers that are unfolding, because I asked the question a few times, note them down. Observe what continues to unfold. Head squeeze, exhale 4 times, focusing on the heart chakra. Thinking about what I use to dominate others. Tap your collarbone. I am always over this.
Always over this.
Very good. Deep breath in and out. Okay, notice. In this lifetime, what do you use to dominate others?
Calmness.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to escape dominion or being dominated? What do
Good
you...
leader.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to escape domination?
Peace.
Everyone, please note your answers here. In this lifetime, what do you use to escape domination?
Perceive self-sufficiency.
Tap the top of the head. What I use to escape domination. Ribs. Head squeeze, exhale from the front. 1 time. Tap the collarbone, focus on the center of the head, thinking what I use to escape domination. I am always even better at getting over this. I'm always even better at escaping domination. Very good. Deep breath in and out. In this lifetime, what do you use to escape being dominated by others?
Non-compliance.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to escape being dominated by others?
Self-esteem.
Very good. Awesome.
Thank you.
Great job. Any cognitions?
Thank you. I did notice myself. A quick question. I noticed when I was repeating the answers to you at the end, rather than normally how I speak out loud, I found myself almost whispering or almost like muttering them, or sometimes before you even finish the question, like half whispering or half muttering them? Is that some kind of like positively charged upper energy that kind of gets cleared as you go through this over time? Just because I just noticed my response was a little bit more like, like, I don't know, like a little punch
Like
differently than faster, more not until the end of the question,
Right.
sort of muttered under my breath out that loud. I just noticed these things, and
Yeah.
I certainly knew that you were asking me, so I certainly knew it was my turn to speak. It wasn't anything like that, but I
Right.
noticed that was so different from how I normally was doing. So I mean, I'm not going to overanalyze, but do you have
Right.
info on what that actually means, or does that mean something, or is
Absolutely.
it just my analytical mind?
That's one of the things I'm looking for is you get one of these commands or these questions and you start out, you have to like, what do I use to get out of being dominated by others? And at first you're thinking about it, right? And you're going through your mental bank and you're going through the fog of what might have been there on this topic of being dominated by others. And then you start pulling information out, and then it becomes easier and clearer, and you can get the next one and the next one and the next one. And your lag of communication goes away until you just get to what you just described. It's like you're ready to go right before I'm even done answering their question, and you have more punch and power with it, right? That
Okay,
is
so it
one of
just
the
means
things
it's clean.
that we're looking for, that I was kind of waiting for someone, and we've noticed other people having this yesterday and the day before too, where their answers become very quick eventually. And so very good. That's fantastic.
Excellent. So it's like an increased speed of cleaning, where it's like you're clearing with a regular clearing, and then when this happens, it almost becomes like a sort of a vacuum clearer, as it were.
I guess you can put it like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Well done. Okay. How did you guys do on that? Right? The escaping dominion, escaping being dominated, right? Just like Lotus's mom with the burning the dinner, right? She is dominating the kitchen by escaping being dominated, right? More of a specific example. I noticed that there's a lot of very general examples, but notice, if there are specific times, if and when they come up too, right? Does anybody have anything like that? Maybe specific times or events that you use things or a circumstance to escape domination or to dominate someone else if you became aware of it. Faye, go ahead.
I hope I understand the question. I can think of a very specific time recently where I felt like I was in charge and I had to dominate because someone was interfering and wanted to change my direction.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, they wanted to change your direction. So, what did you do?
I raised my voice. I was very loud and short.
So, what you use is you use your voice getting loud and getting short.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I like amped up my,
And I'm getting you guys to find your answers here because this is just the start. There's a whole nother process. We're going to use some of your most charged answers to these to another part of this. That's when you're going to get the release. You're already having cognitions now, but we're going to plug in your answers into another part here. Right? So I'm helping you guys actually find them all. Right? Okay. Very good, Faye. Fantastic. Well done. Mary Jane, go ahead.
Thanks. What keeps coming to me is tenacity, using my voice, my volume, my words, my logic, my sense of justice, but physically, just the increase in volume and like a fire hosing words.
Okay.
This one's got a lot. There's a lot of juice here with this one.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Thanks.
Okay. Great. Is there anyone here who hasn't volunteered yet who would like to? As we move to the next exercise. And again, if there are answers that come into your mind that are very personal, you don't have to actually say them out loud. You can just say, okay, I got one, or something, right? But yeah, I would take advantage of this. Okay, Lotus, you're up.
Oh, lucky me.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
All right, and everyone follow along. Note your answers. Allow your mind to unfold. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Being strong.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Learning lots of tools.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Using life vests.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Listening.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid or help in your own survival?
Making friends.
Right. Allow the answers to continue to unfold. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Kindness.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Being quiet.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Being invisible.
Good. What do you use to aid in your own survival?
Never causing conflict.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Never making a big fuss.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Never standing up for myself.
Tap your chin. Back of the hand. Collarbone. Collarbone, collarbone, collarbone. Pinky finger. I forgive myself for using the wrong tools in aiding my survival.
I forgive myself for using the wrong tools for aiding in my survival.
I'm doing the best I can to survive.
I'm doing the best that I can to survive.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
Head squeeze, exhale twice. Inside eyebrow. What do you use to aid in your own survival?
Always being pleasing.
Tap your chin. Collarbone. Head squeeze, exhale once. Okay, some more clearings for the group here. As you focus on becoming aware of what you actually are using to aid in your own survival in your life. Focusing on the heart chakra and rubbing the sore spot. Acknowledging any feelings that are keeping you from feeling really good. Lotus, anything?
Cognitions or?
Feelings with the sore spot in the heart chakra.
Okay, even though I feel this deep sadness and grief around not really feeling safe to express my true self. I completely love and accept myself.
Good. Head squeeze, exhale twice on the heart chakra, or with the heart chakra. Focus. Next. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Dressing nicely, being pretty.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Having money.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to aid in your own survival?
Giving my skills.
Fantastic. Good. I think we all noticed a big shift and a switch right there, right? Okay. Any cognitions you want to share?
Wow. I'm like tearing up a little bit. I allowed myself, when you asked the questions in the beginning, to just completely allow the first thought to come through without analyzing it or thinking about it at all.
Mm-hmm. You did great.
And a lot of the things that I said, I was a little bit surprised by.
Yeah.
I would never have expected I would have said those things. And while we were doing it, I had a vision of being about 5 or 6. I was the smallest child. I was the youngest. I had 2 older siblings.
Okay. What's the cognition without the story?
The cognition is that I see why I use those tools to be safe. And it was really surprising what my answers were to you after the corrections. Like, I didn't try to change them at all. It just what naturally came through. And it's such a profound shift that I'm kind of, wow.
Right. You went from having anti-survival answers to actual ones that make sense. That's a fantastic shift there, and I think you did a phenomenal job. And the fact that you're just allowing yourself to answer, right? Yeah. Great. You did fantastic. Okay. Anybody else want to volunteer for the next one? You guys are doing great. I want to make sure you all have the opportunity here. Gregors, go ahead. Okay.
I can go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So everyone follow along with the next one here. This is along the same lines. And notice what your answers are. Observe your mind. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Michael, can you explain me hinder?
Absolutely. Hinder is to hold back, shorten, keep away from.
Okay.
So, hindering their survival would be taking away their survival capabilities. So in this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others? To shorten the survival of others, to stop the survival of others. And this one's a little bit of a confront because we might not want to actually answer these ones or think that we actually do, when I'm sure there are answers there. So if there were ways that you hinder the survival of others, what would they be?
Loud voice.
Loud voice, very good. Right hand knuckle on the right collarbone point. Tapping on the back of the hand. Focusing on what I use to hinder or stop the survival of others, or what I have used in the past. Deep breath in, hold. Halfway up. All the way out. Halfway in. Breathe normally. Okay, very good. Okay, in this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Speed.
Speed, very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others? And there's a lot of mass here.
I getting loud noise.
Getting loud noise. Very good. Yep. Okay. Notice how you feel. And even if you're not getting an answer on this, what does it make you feel when I ask this question? And please tap your collarbone. Top of the head. Head squeeze, exhale 6 times. And then tap the collarbone. I'm always even better at getting over this.
I'm always been better at getting over this.
I'm always even better at hindering the survival of others.
I'm always even better at getting over hindering the survivors of others.
Yep, very good. Good. There's a lot of heaviness with that for everybody. Okay. Next. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Danger speed.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Risk.
Good. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others? Note your answer.
Promise.
Very good. In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Scream.
Good. What else do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Anger.
Good. Okay, any cognitions?
Yeah. I got phenomenal cognition after first correction. So with this loud voice and like noisy things, I see how I can hinder actually people ability. It's because recently I had the past life regression session, and my Dragon Master shows up, and they give me the message of creating videos and do it really professional. And when I look at my recordings of the video, there is a background noise, little noise of the equipment, microphone is not set up correctly. So this actually is pushing some of the audience back because there is a loud voice in the background. So I see how this is in my subconscious mind. This voice is this hindering, kind of pushing back people
Yeah.
because of this. So it was my cognition after the correction.
Yep. Very good. So did this help you guys have a little more awareness about yourselves in another way? Yeah. And this kind of relates to like that passive aggressive kind of thing. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it, and now you're coming to realize like, oh, maybe I am doing this a little bit in some kind of way. Maybe not in a harsh way, but right. And so imagine having that kind of behavior, those kind of things in your field. These prevent you from being able to face larger, deeper things. Okay? Relin, go ahead. Very good.
Okay, so quickly, Sylvia, with the cognition, I realized that there was a situation where I felt that despite the knowing that there's eternal material, eternity, that there's in the physical, it felt like there was a knowledge of temporary or a limited amount of material, so I had to clear that up, knowing that can affect survival, and of course knowing that sound or me doing what I think and not caring about your own how things are for you can also be an issue where it can affect of others, because others can still be impacted by personal consequences that you choose to not care about yourself. So those were two cognitions, and the other one is I've noticed I've had a lot of for some reason hunger and actual physical hunger, and a little bit of a on the foot and the right, going from the foot to the shoulder, and thirsty as well. I don't know, I had earlier, but I'm not sure if it was because of the energy or just a biological time of day thing, but just to point that out, it's been really heavy since we got to this question.
Yep. Very good. Yep. Like I said, I think I said yesterday, I did a clearing with a guy who was going through a physical thing. I did the first initial clearing, and all of a sudden, he just got super thirsty, super hungry, super hot, and, it just changed immediately how he felt. And then after we cleared, then he didn't need it so much anymore, right? So that can definitely happen. Yeah. Okay. Great. You guys are all doing fantastic, it seems. Some of you haven't heard of or cannot even see you on the video, so hopefully you're there and you're aware and with us. So now I would like you to take, out of all the questions we went through, what is one of the more charged answers that came up? If you were to pick one, we're going to take that answer and we're going to plug it in to this next process as we go deeper into revealing the circuits, the mental circuits of these things that make others wrong and you right. Anybody want to share what they have on their list? Right? Gregors, you mentioned some really key ones, right? You speed fast, right? High speed, or talking loud.
Talking loud, high speed, risk, taking risk.
Exactly. Yeah. So So I asked 3 different styles of questions, or 3 different styles of angles to help you find these, because they all relate to one another. And that was fantastic. You did great with that.
Thank you.
Kate, go ahead.
Yeah. I get really mad with my colleagues at work when they're not team players. Got a real thing about that. And so, yeah, even like what was that last question? In this lifetime, what do you use to hinder the survival of others?
Yeah.
Gossip and tell stories, and I believe them.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So on your list of everything that you've gone through, or what you can recall from the past hour of all these questions, which is one or a couple of them that have the most charge?
Are you asking the group, or are you asking me?
Oh, I'm asking you and the group, but seeing what your answer is, because I want to get some examples from what you guys have, so you can all kind of like, okay, I understand what this person has this and that person has that. Okay, and kind of help you guys have a little more certainty with this process, because it might be a little foreign. It's a lot of new concepts here. However, when you find it and you use it, it's just so spot on, and it makes so much sense. And if you don't have anything, that's fine. Go ahead. Yep.
So my one perhaps relates to this, what I do to aid my own survival is to never cause conflict.
Never cause conflict. There we go.
Yeah. And then, so really judging of people that do, or, that aren't aware of everybody else and caring about what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah. Very good. You can use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share? Faye, I see you reaching over. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I have this way to delay responding to people, or sometimes not answering them at all.
Right. Yep.
That's almost like a technique I use. And also, I am very often in my head, very much distracted, sort of from the present space time. I've got something going on in the intellect.
Yeah.
So the state of distraction makes me not available easily.
Yeah.
And that also relates to this inability to really care, because I'm up in my head.
Right. That's a great example. Fantastic. Great job. Relyn, go ahead. What do you have as your top charged answer?
Top charged, I'd say the fact that if I've logically thought of something I know is right, and that thing that I've thought is right happens to also offend people who have like a liberal mindset, then I tend to be even more convinced that that's not just right, it's super right if it's also offending someone,
Right. Okay. Very good. How would you put that into a small phrase or a few words? Because we're gonna take these and you're gonna plug it into another sentence I'm gonna give you.
So that sentence you're asking me just how to make it into a few words instead of the sentence, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So, self-righteous offendedness, I guess. Does that make sense?
Okay. There you go. I would like it to become a little bit more specific, but you can roll with that.
Oh, okay. Self-righteous. I don't know. Offending people? Offending self-righteous liberals, I guess, or globalists. Is that too specific in the meditation?
It's a little general, but you're getting there.
So
how does it specifically play out in a real circumstance? Like, what actually do you do?
I mean, I know, like, sorry, but just if I were, I do the thing that I know is right, and then if I, Yeah, double down is that's a good one. Doubling down. I like that's a good definition there. So
Doubling
just
down.
yes, that's perfect because it's kind of like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like if someone said,
Yep.
"Okay, Roland, stop doing this," and I thought it's something that I think is a good thing. If I did it accidentally, I would see to it that I do it. Okay, stop singing like that. Okay, because it's rude. Okay, well next time I wasn't singing intentionally, but next time I'm gonna sing that a little bit louder, just like that. You know what I mean?
Ah, okay, great. So doubling down. There you go.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to make sure you guys kind of get the clarity so you can plug these in and get the highest benefit out of it. You guys are already having cognitions and more awareness, but now we're going to go to the next level with it. Kate, your hand still up. No, okay. Okay, anybody else? Going once. Going twice before we move on. All of you are 100% certain? Very good.
There was a good one in the chat.
Oh, what do we got?
It was
My chat is not moving.
Paris 2
Yeah.
said, Paris 2, do you want to share your answer?
Explaining too much and trying to defend myself. Okay. So I would pick one. I explain too much. You can plug that in. That's going to work. So I'm excited to see the cognitions that come up from the next exercise here. Is now you take one of these and you're going to plug it in. Okay? All right. So, all right, I've given you guys enough chance. All right. So we're going to move to the next exercise. Okay? At first, I'm going to do this for the group with silence so you all can focus, and then I'll come up and I'll give you guys a chance to participate. Okay, so ready. I'm going to say the word this, and this is going to be the thing that you chose. So for example, I'm going to say the phrase, in this lifetime, how would this make you right? So how would doubling down make you right? How would speeding make you right? How would using logic make me right? How would explaining too much make you right? So when I say this, you plug that in. So in this lifetime, how would this make you right? Notice your answer. And state it out loud just like as if I was there with you. Good. In this lifetime, how would this make you right? In this lifetime, how would this make you right? Head squeeze, exhale once. Left hand knuckles on the left collarbone. Thinking about how doing this makes you right. Deep breath in. Halfway out. All the way out. Halfway in. Breathing normally. Head squeeze, exhale on the sides. How this makes me right. Okay, good. Deep breath in and out. In this lifetime, how would this make you right? In this lifetime, how would this make you right? In this lifetime, how would this make you right? Good. Next. using that same phrase, those same words, that same thing. In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? Notice your answer. You can speak it silently to yourself or out loud. In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? You may notice answers unfold without me asking again. You know, you can just notice. In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? Just notice the answers. In this lifetime, how would this make you right? Notice what the answer is now. In this lifetime, how would this make you right? In this lifetime, how would this make you right? In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? In this lifetime, how would this make others wrong? Okay. Anybody want to share cognitions? Relin, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So what I've discovered based on this exercise is a lot of the things, two things. One, the fact that things that would make people be wrong or me right are often things that reinforce the opinion that I have, or the action of doubling down. And then the other component of what makes those other people wrong, a lot of those answers are things like, oh, they're not as firm on that opinion, they're not as strong on that opinion, they're not, they're trying to control other people, or so they know they can't get to me because they'll prove that, because when I stick to it, it means they can't do that to me because it shows they're trying to do it to others. So long story short, one thing I've noticed is a lot of the things that make people, again, it's a self-projection, but the things that doubling down makes you think makes others wrong are in some indirect ways the same things that you're doing with your own opinion to make yourself seem right, that you're actually that I actually would be blaming them for doing by trying to have me change the course of action, or stop the course of action.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Anybody else notice anything I want to share? Or maybe you noticed nothing. You can also raise your hand too.
Yeah, Michael,
What's
I
that?
was having the cognition, never causing conflict, that by me never causing conflict, it allowed me to stay on sort of like a higher level, and thus other people always being wrong. And I'd never thought of that before.
Yep. Good. Okay? Next. Notice the answers of this now. In this lifetime, how would this help you escape domination? Being dominated by others. Being trapped. Being overcome. Being won over. Being stuck somewhere. So how would this help you escape dominion? I'm sorry, domination. Notice your answers. In this lifetime, how would this help you escape being dominated? In this lifetime, how would this help you escape being dominated? Next, in this lifetime, how would this help you dominate someone else or others? In this lifetime, how would this help you dominate others? Tap your chin, inside eyebrow, chin, back of the hand. Thinking about how you may have used this to dominate others. It's okay. Everyone does these types of things. Head squeeze, exhale once. In this lifetime, how does this help you escape domination? Notice the answers as they continue to unfold and reveal new things. Because the more we draw this out, the more we can get to the root of it, the more we can clear. In this lifetime, how would this help you escape domination? Next, in this lifetime, how would this help you dominate others? Tap the top of your head, collarbone, side of the eyes, side of the hand, ribs, collarbone, ribs, collarbone. Deep breath in and out. Okay. How are you guys doing? Any cognitions? Any releases? Any charge?
I just felt a huge release.
Good.
About halfway there, I'd say.
Yep. Alicia, go ahead.
Hey Michael, I'm definitely very, very triggered.
Okay,
And I
great.
feel myself like my chest is incredibly tight and I just feel really squirrely and crazy and like I just want to run away and I just have really intense yeah, I don't know that I'm releasing anything right now. I think I'm just amping things up more and more.
Okay. Does this have to do with anything that you had or brought up or anything asked? My intention to ask that question is also to help key everybody into anyone who has a very similar thing going on. Go ahead.
For sure. The thing that I was working on was I can have a really intense resistance. And I can be immobile and just sometimes just yeah, a lot of resistance, a lot of stubbornness. I may not necessarily want to have that, but there's a lot of intensity and charge around that for myself.
Head squeeze, exhale once. How do you want to feel?
Free.
Okay. Tap your
I think
chin.
fluid. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Fluid.
Good. Head squeeze, exhale once. Ribs. Focus 2 chakras above your head. Head squeeze, exhale once. Head squeeze, exhale twice. Focus on feeling fluid. Please do the 9G.
Mm-hmm. 9G, I don't understand.
That is the it's a brain clearing technique. I'm having her just do it real quick, well, without me doing the whole thing. It's tapping the back of the hand with 9 different movements with eyes and the humming and the counting. Okay, how are you doing now? What do you notice?
It's a bit better. I think I have less of the really triggered response.
Yeah. And what was it having to do with again?
Resistance.
Resistance to what?
It's just sometimes there's just a resistance that comes up, where it doesn't even feel. I don't know how to even describe it. It's just like almost a stopping action.
Okay. Like right now, doing the exercise?
In general, but it kind of stops. Like it's almost like I suddenly just become blocked.
When?
Like I don't know, when I get confronted by certain things, or I'm trying to get to certain sometimes when I'm trying to get, I have certain objectives, sometimes I just get feeling this like roadblock feeling, and things just become really hard, and I might put a lot of energy towards something, but it's like I'm trying to push like a rock up a hill.
Mm-hmm. So when's the last time you experienced this?
Well, this was a particularly strong feeling of it. I think this was the most
Yeah.
triggered I felt it in like quite a while. I feel it when I think about having like a lot of clarity around like what feels like my best purpose, and kind of in the work domain. I feel it very strongly there. I feel a bit of it thinking about whether or not to have kids, which is the conversation that I'm in right now.
Tap your inside eyebrows, focus on your upper dantian, which is the center of the head. For everyone else who doesn't know. Side of the eyes. Chin. Focus on 170 levels down from your root chakra. Focus on this stuck feeling. Sore spot, acknowledge this stuck feeling.
Out loud, or
You can do it quietly or out loud. Okay, tap your collarbone, 170 levels down with this stuck feeling. Left hand knuckles left side. Tap on the back of the hand. Focus on this stuck feeling. 170 levels down. Deep breath and hold. Halfway out. All the way out. Breathe in, hold. Halfway. Very good. Okay, tap on your ribs. Stuck feeling, 170 levels down. Okay, good. Head squeeze exhale once, just normally focusing on how you feel. Sore spot, acknowledge how you feel now. Where you at? Okay, how are you doing? Any shift?
Yeah, no, I think I'm definitely a lot more, yeah, a lot less triggered, substantially less triggered. So thank you for that.
Good. Okay. So was it hard for you to kind of go through the rest of this when you're kind of in that state? These exercises we were doing?
Yeah, well, I was
Yeah.
still going through the process and I was writing down things, but I
Yeah.
was just noticing myself becoming increasingly like tighter and tighter and tighter, and it just was, yeah, just keying it up. Yeah, so no, thanks for helping create that space.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay. Hey, that's what we're doing, right? We're pulling stuff up, getting it out, so you can get to the next level. And again, you know, why I'm jumping up to a kind of a higher gradient, higher level kind of objective to focus on. And so this might be, you know, a little ahead of where, you know, a lot of you guys are at. However, I know this is going to be helpful to bring stuff up to clear anyhow, you know. Okay, anybody else want to share?
I guess if maybe I can just add one other thing.
Yeah.
I think this was actually quite effective in getting quite triggered, like quite like feeling the feeling.
Mhm.
So I think it was helpful in that respect of having a very embodied, visceral experience of it. So
Yeah, great. Okay. I also do want to help move you guys on the positive end as well. So we're going deep here, and then hopefully these realizations and these cognitions, then we can run off of what you're discovering about yourselves, right? Okay. Very good. Everyone doing okay? Good to see you guys sticking around, following along. Not everyone can withstand, you know, confronting yourselves on this level. So I'm not surprised, you know, we've had a fair amount of people sign off because you really got to be there with yourself. Okay. Next. Now to start moving towards the positive side of this. All right. So you still have this in mind, right? What you're working on. And again, when this replay comes out, you can plug in a different one, which is exciting. Okay, ready. Deep breath in and out. Okay, allow yourself to observe. In this lifetime, what would this aid in your survival? In this lifetime, how would this aid in your survival? In this lifetime, how would this aid in your survival? In this lifetime, how would this aid in your survival? Help your survival. Improve your survival. Head squeeze, exhale 3 times, focusing on your heart chakra. How this would aid in my survival. Heart chakra under the nose. I will be even better at helping my survival. And then side of the eyes, I will always be even better at aiding in my survival. And then heart chakra, collarbone. I am always even better at aiding in my survival. And then middle dantian, which is the center of the chest. Collarbone, I am always even better at aiding in my own survival. Very good. Deep breath in and out. Next question. In this lifetime, how would this, your phrase, how would this hinder the survival of others? Allow the answers to come up. It's okay. In this lifetime, how would this hinder the survival of others? In this lifetime, how would this hinder the survival of others? In this lifetime, how would this hinder the survival of others? Head squeeze, exhale, focus on the heart chakra. Continue focusing on the heart chakra, tap the ribs. And then side of the eyes. I will always be even better at getting over this. As some of us are realizing the times that we have hindered the survival of others doing this thing. Very good. Deep breath in and out. Okay, anybody want to share? Kate, go ahead.
Yeah, I just realized that I've been doing that to my little sister, not just yeah, so my thing is, you know, people not collaborating, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, means I don't have to depend on others. It's just like I just discount them out. I don't have to trust them or need them. Don't have to consider them. It's easier just to look after myself, and then I go, oh my God, and that's what I did to my little sister.
All right. Very good.
They
Great.
have to go it alone. Yeah.
Good awareness. Great. Anyone else? We're here for you. This is your workshop. Relin, go ahead.
Okay, so when you double down on a lot of things, in addition to it can damage other people's perceived on their own psychological well-being and self-perception of themselves and what they think or who they are as well.
So now you're probably becoming much more aware of when you do these things, how it may affect someone else.
Yes, on a deeper level than not just like the way you hear it, but how the actual real impact is, for sure.
Ah, yeah. I understand. Yeah. It's more like you feel and understand rather than just like someone told you it's affecting them or something, right?
Yeah, more like I can, strangely enough, I can almost see it, that it's not about what you're doing, it's about how it actually impacts the person's actual mind as well, their actual physical mind, physical brain, in ways that words don't really describe.
Yeah.
And some of the actions that they might do that appear to be irrational might be responses to that makes, like you said, it's more empathy. So if a person, say, doesn't talk to you after you double down on something, you think, oh well, that's a bad person. But now I think more like, oh, maybe there's a part of themselves that they actually have to deal with if they ever think about whatever was said or done, and therefore that part is either damaged or they want to maintain it like that, so they're going to go forward. So, but the idea that you can do other ways. You have to build too, instead of, you have to build when you're saying something, because if you don't build, then you could just be not leaving, but you could just allow something to be taken away or damaged, and without actually helping fix anything.
Yeah, interesting. I can feel that shift. And
Feel
even
like a
even
hurricane.
Jane commented. She says more empathic.
Yes.
Right? And notice how we did some heart releases on that. And I'm not surprised that compassion and understanding, just like with Lotus's example, has come up. Right? Anybody else notice that? More of a compassion, understanding for others as you're kind of exploring that and allowing those answers? Yeah. And does that then make you closer, realizing who you are and the goodness of the universe, and everything starts to lead towards in that direction in all these different ways? It's very interesting. Gregors, go ahead.
So what I get after the clearing and the shift, a lot of shifted. So I get new perspective and new cognition, new realization. So what I get, it's about communication in my example, and how important it is to communicate properly, because without proper communication, the other side can get angry, and that leads to having less opportunities. I see in my example, I have some like really important people that they have a lot of influence, that put like that, and they are really wealthy people in Naples, and I can reach much more with proper communication. I can be much better with calling, so reaching out to people, and it's same with reaching out versus ignoring, kind of, even if it's not ignoring, but it's actually, if there is more compassion, there's actually reaching out, more of reaching out opportunity and calling them much more often, and making appointments with those people. So reaching out to them and like, okay, let's hang out, let's go out, let's go for a dinner, let's go somewhere,
Okay.
do something. So it's all about creating much more opportunities by right communication, calling, more approaching, and like all those things combined together. So it new shift and new level of understanding. Thank you so much, Michael, for that.
Yeah, it's almost like it feels like, I've been told by people what to do and how to be, but now I'm actually feeling and understanding it instead of being told or thinking what I should be doing. Now I'm like, oh, now I can actually feel it. Now I actually can understand it. Is that close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I really commend you guys for sticking around and going through these questions, because if you were to just kind of look as an outside observer, it might seem a little boring or something. But if you really allow these questions to unfold, it's quite profound what can happen. And these specific questions and these specific commands have been put together and refined over many, many years and hundreds of thousands of cases and examples, as these specific phrases have been used to help you guys get to these places. And yeah, it's pretty profound. Christopher, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, as we were getting cleared, it really dawned on me how if we attempt to control someone else by forcing them to better their own survival against their own will, by yelling at them or trying to work extra hard to get them to listen to us, will actually cause them to be more resistant, which actually hurts their survival. Then it puts us under stress, which hurts our survival. We bring both of us down in the process.
Yeah.
But if you can be willing to accept that sometimes people are not willing to change, and to allow them to go down what we perceive to be a bad road, either A, maybe they know better than we think we do, or they'll be more receptive to the positive change, and that brings us at peace, which then helps our own self. So when we were doing the clearings of not doing things to hinder our own survival, I felt myself not wanting to force my will on others. But then we tried to clear not wanting to force our will on others. It helped me be at peace. So it's like what we did was we cleared it on both ends, both ourselves and the way we deal with others. And either one will affect the other. I hope I explained that right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a lot of this is kind of ineffable a little bit. It's almost like the very basic things that you would normally say and understand, but it's like you're coming from the place of knowingness and understanding now, more so, right? Especially coming from both ends of yourself and someone else too, right?
Yeah, it was hard to put into words, but I tried my best.
Yeah, I think you did great. Yeah,
Thank you.
very cool. Very cool. So I think you guys are definitely getting something out of this. Jane also said spiritual energetic connection with others. Right. Yeah. Very cool. Well, yeah, and these processes go on and into deeper and deeper levels, and ideally with that process we would actually take those type of circumstances and then go back on the time track and then actually erase where they come from and how they've been created, which is a little beyond what's going to happen here today. And I think that's a good segue into the clip I wanted to share with you guys to help understand how are these reactionary things happening, and how can we kind of show you all the blocks in the mind and how they get cleared and what happens when they get cleared, right? So now you've experienced a little bit more of what's going on in your mind. Now when you watch this, I think it's going to be a little more profound if I just kind of showed it to you at the beginning, right? So let's see if my volume's correct for the video here. So check this out and observe. I think you all are all going to love this clip here if I put it in the right order. Yeah.
All therapy is done by traveling on your time track. Everything you've ever experienced is filed there, in sequence, according to the time it happened. And even though it seems like the moments containing pain and unconsciousness are missing from your time track, they are there, and they can be located. In fact, these engrammic events become linked to one another in your reactive mind, and that connection helps you locate them. You see, engrams actually form chains of incidents that have something similar in common. For a simple example, let's say you once were hit by a bike. And years earlier, you had a bad spill on a motorcycle. And back when you were a child, you were injured from a fall off your bike. And even earlier, you suffered a prenatal engram containing the word bike.
Sweetheart, what happened?
To your reactive mind, these engrams would form a chain, a series of incidents which contain bikes as part of their content. Now, all engrams also contain a harmful energy or force called charge. This painful or emotional charge is what gives an engram its force and power over you. When incidents form a chain, the later ones contain their own charge plus the force of all earlier incidents on that chain as well. In other words, the later incidents get their strength from the earlier ones. Auditing takes the charge out of these incidents. So when you're auditing a chain of engrams, you want to find the earliest incident on that chain, because that's the one that's holding the other ones in place and giving them their force. That first incident is called the basic. The basic on a chain is always your goal, and that can be a very, very early engram. Here's why. Think of the reactive mind as an upside-down pyramid. The upper part of this pyramid is made up of the most recent incidents on your time track. The lower part contains the earliest ones. The cement that holds this pyramid together is all the physical pain and painful emotion you've ever recorded. Now, a chain could consist of incidents that all contain the same kind of pain or injury. Or they might contain the same person, or the same word or phrase, or a similar smell, or similar sounds or voices, and so on. So you can see that many chains could lead down into the prenatal area of your time track, to the first time that pain or phrase or voice appears in an incident. Therefore, the goal in every auditing session is to get into this bottom area, contacting and removing the earliest engrams you can find. Sometimes you have to go back into the later area to find recent incidents, especially painful emotion engrams. Reducing these later incidents will help uncover the earlier ones hidden beneath them. In addition, these losses will contain trapped life force. Releasing this charge weakens the reactive mind and reinforces your ability to find more engrams and carry on in life. In fact, the release of this emotional charge contained in losses is so important that once the majority of this emotional stress is discharged from your reactive mind, you reach a state known as release. A Dianetic release is a person who has been freed from his major anxieties or illnesses. At the very bottom of this pyramid is the earliest moment of pain and unconsciousness. This is known as basic, the first engram on the first chain of engrams, and that engram must be found if you're going to become clear. Once basic has been erased, the remaining engrams will be much easier to locate and erase. Now, these incidents aren't actually erased. They've just shifted and are now found filed as experiences in your analytical memory banks. In other words, they are now memories without any pain or charge or force over you. When all the physical pain and painful emotion from your life has been released, the reactive mind will be cleared of its engrams. You'll be restored to your optimum state. You will be you. You will be clear.
So that is a very interesting way to depict a lot of what we're working with and what we're wanting to get through, right? It's helpful to see. It's another different philosophy. There's a lot of different terms used there, but it's another way to depict it. Not that it actually is some kind of pyramid over your body or something, but it's kind of a way to illustrate it. And a lot of the things that we've been doing the last 3 days helps us to be able to go through and find these things and then ultimately be able to clear them. And you've noticed that some of you already have been doing that as you're like, hey, this situation happened and I'm actually able to think about it and respond to it instead of getting emotional. So you're already getting it just by having this information flow and doing the tapping procedures and releasing the charge and so forth. And so this is, eating an elephant one bite at a time kind of situation, right? So, yeah. So this whole 3-day thing was kind of give you guys a sample as to what some of these processes might be to help you get there. And there's so much more. And this type of work is definitely not for the faint-hearted. This definitely does take some dedication. And, you know, if we were to work with you 1 or 2 or 3 times a week, you know, over the next many, many months, as we chip away at this massive mountain of charge that not only in this lifetime, but other lifetimes, we know it can be amazingly beneficial for you all. And so, yeah, any thoughts on that video or what we've been going through and kind of putting the pieces together? If you want to share, you can. And there is one thing I did put together for you guys. And you have seen this when we went through the class. There's a path, right, on what is suggested on what you can do to start clearing, which is the training side, and then on the right side, the processing side, which has all the different exercises and procedures to help you get to that place of being able to release these blocks easier and easier. And I'm going to put a document in the chat that you can look at that shows a little bit more of an intricate descriptive version of this so you can further understand it. So if it's something that you want to take part in and you want to go through, that will be available. And so, yeah, it looks something like this. A little bit more descriptive, because we had a few people like, what do you mean by the levels? And what do you mean by these parts of the training? And so, this is an actual already proven method to work. And unfortunately, this method that's already been put together, and where I got that video from, unfortunately, the organization has been ruined, basically. And this technology is kind of becoming a lost art. And the last people to know how to get individuals clear, it's almost like the last dying Jedis that I've been able to be around and learn from. And so one of my purposes is to help you guys and help the world keep this going and reach a place of clarity. So you may want to study that. I've, or you can print it out and refer to it and kind of look at, what is required for me to learn how to clear and learn how to be clear. And so there's a lot of options there. And so there's a path for those of you who are dedicated and want something real and you want a path moving forward to feeling better. This is definitely an amazing option. Instead of the randomness of just clearing this and that, I think it's a phenomenal thing, as we've seen with many people. So yeah, I don't have any offer for you tonight. There's nothing to purchase, only seeds that I'm planting. So yeah. Aline, go ahead.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
So I just wanted to share something, a win that is very practical and tangible in the
what's that?
past 3 days, if I may.
Yeah.
So it's been like about a month that one particular person would trigger some vague memories. I wasn't even sure if it's a past memory or future memory. Every time I saw them or hear their voice, even seeing their picture, that would trigger me. And after clearing some of the blocks, I was guided to do some tarot reading that is like way out of my radar screen. And down to all the details, I realized that this is a vision for my future. And I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm actually pretty excited for that. So I just wanted to thank you because this was so obvious and put my mind at so much ease and peace. So I'm very grateful for what you do.
Yeah. You're very welcome. Great to hear the win. Awesome. Great. I saw you hopped on a little bit later, so I'm not sure if you went through the kind of the exercise we went through tonight, right?
Yeah, I kind of disconnected for about an hour.
Oh, okay.
But I got this cognition yesterday, and that was very clear to me that these are flashbacks for my future.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, and I kind of brought up this picture here in that clip there to kind of get a representation of, you know, when the blocks that happen in our lives and how they can be connected to these things. And when you have something that's stimulated today and you get upset about something, you know, the question that we've taught as the very basic version of this is, when's the last time you felt like this? And when's the last time you felt, when's the time before that, or another time, or another time? And eventually, when you get charged up so much, you can be like, when's the first time I felt like this? Oh my God, I was like 2 years old and my brother did this to me. And that's being able to go down the chain all the way to the starting point. And when you release that, it releases the whole chain. Right? And that's where a lot of these questions become so valuable, because then you start getting memories that go back further. And once you find those and you get it keyed in, you're able to write it down and clear it out, then these chains release. And that's how you really get a lot of mass out. And when you're doing the yawning, right, and the burping, and you feel the sensations, you're releasing these out. And there's a lot of them. And, you know, in this video, it talked about like prenatal events, which is, you know, obviously a thing, but it's controversial to put in a video that it goes past life too, right? So it goes beyond that. But kind of give a visual representation, because it's anytime you get triggered, this is the opportunity that you're tapping into. And when you can clear it, it's just phenomenal. And being able to do that on a regular basis is where it's at. Elena, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much, and that I have been sleeping very profoundly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
Good.
is awesome because I don't normally.
Wow.
And I handle this more like meditation, like you go into a very, very deep space and then you just allow it to dissipate. And I just feel like, you know, doing all the tapping and everything is just automatically happening without having to give it a second thought. And it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just being on this call and taking it through osmosis is definitely a thing. And
yeah, and it's really interesting to see how everybody handles it and the wonderful benefits they're getting.
Yeah. Very cool. Good to hear. And great
works.
And great to hang out with you at the conference, by the way.
You too.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Absolutely. Christopher, go ahead.
I just want to say how great this weekend has been. It has far exceeded my expectations. Like, I thought it would be good, but I thought, oh, well, I've had, been on calls before. I'm just going to go through another one and, and maybe I get it to clear and stuff, and that'll be it. I don't think I was expecting to have this high of a level of clearing. It's really good.
Nice.
I am just really happy. I can't stop smiling and giggling and everything. I just wanted to let you know.
That's great to hear. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Not surprised, but great to hear. Yeah. Relin, you were going to, go ahead.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, I was saying that it's been amazing getting the cognition that we share, we shared and we learned. However, the other thing that I found was amazing is when you showed that document with the full path. I know you mentioned how you've had your level of training, but it was deep to understand, not just because at first I knew you were a practitioner in this field, so we talked about it, but to understand the whole sense of calling that you have and really and the role that your destiny is playing in preserving this knowledge. But also, more importantly, what I thought is amazing is this path that you've shared. It's deeper than anything I've looked. To give everyone a quick background, I've studied psychology, and I've read information about counseling and things like that. And this training on how to look at yourself is nothing like any so-called therapy or anything, or counseling, or any person I would have spoken, because it gets you to go into the self. And to end it, I feel like this what you're offering here in the future, and as well as now, is kind of not just a personal path, yes, a personal path for yourself, but as you go up in this path, if we so choose it, almost a calling to really be able to reach the world with it. It's actually at a point where I'm considering, where I've studied psychology and counseling, I'm considering, if I've been looking for what can I do to help in the world, is this where I'm being, where I'm being called? Something I would have never even imagined before, that this could be long-term where I'm being called. Whereas this weekend, I'm like, oh, wow, this is a path. This is a lifelong work that anyone who chooses to work with you can engage in with you, if they so have the dedication. So I think it's amazing just to have that, even that realization, or even the possibility of considering that, which isn't something that would have even been on my radar screen. So yeah, just I'm really amazed, and at how deep this work that we've done together in this group is, and the fact that there's so much potential that I wouldn't have ever even crossed my mind to even think about before this particular weekend here.
Wow. Yep, there's a lot more. Absolutely. Great to hear. Yeah, where a lot of this comes from is a dying art that was actually infiltrated by the psychiatric industry and destroyed because they didn't want this getting out. And I've been fortunate to meet people and be trained by individuals that were able to go through this before that happened. And it's very special. Jean, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I got a lot out of it. And, I came to this through Lotus. I don't know you, Michael, but this has been really great to see where this wonderful work you're doing together is what that's about. And I just want to say, Lotus did, I signed up for an astrological reading, and it turned into this humongous ancestral healing session that went on for a couple of hours, but totally changed my life.
Yeah.
And, got me back close to my daughter again. And now I have a grandson, and it's like, we're on opposite sides of some issues, but we're just proceeding in love. And she also got me through a really intense thing about being murdered in a past life. And I think I got to that point. It's like I was sort of carrying this persecution imprint for a long time. And that just helped me realize, I can handle this knowledge and I can handle it in my body. And so that work is really deep, and this felt like each day I just was sleeping a lot because I wanted to be present and receptive, and I felt like I was able to do that and get a lot out of it. So I really appreciate and everybody's participation is just really honest and accessible, and that we were supporting each other by tapping along, because we can all relate.
I love that so much. When someone's going through something and seeing so many of you tap along with a person that's going through a thing, it's very touching, to see that. I don't ever really talk about it or anything, and it's very optional if you want to tap along with someone. But it's quite amazing to see. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing, and great to hear that Lotus does amazing work. I know that I'm presenting most of the time here while Lotus is being supportive, but she does phenomenal work as well, and she works on a very high level plane of clearing, and her astrology is just so spot on, which is why we've included it into this path too, because it's very it shows you a lot as to who you
And
are.
I have seen the changes in Lotus along with seeing the changes in myself, right? Because I met her about 3 years ago.
Oh,
and
okay.
she just full of divine light, like, and just, so giving, but it's like very real. It comes from doing that work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then we are here Lotus and I are triggering each other and finding new levels and depths that we wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah, good stuff. Really good.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing. Elena, what's up?
I was just going to say, speaking of Lotus, just to remind everybody to go out and look at the awesome full moon tonight. It was just gorgeous last night.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be gorgeous
Very
tonight
bright.
too. Yeah.
Give all your stuff to it. Yeah. Faye, go ahead. You have your hand up.
Yes, I want to thank you also so much. I will be interested to see ongoing how this will influence my behavior. And just one thing, I'll try to be brief. I thought the questions were very interesting because they are questions that I've been very seriously focusing on in an intellectual fashion for about the past 4 years. This question of whether as human beings we're going to live as free people or as slaves, and studying the Constitution as also natural law with the teacher named Mark Passio. Some people may have heard of him.
Yep.
But there is this other, when you opened the workshop and you said it about the crown chakra and the connection to source and knowing, it was like, two types of knowing. There is the intellectual knowing, which is very important, but there is also this direct perception, which I believe we are training, or I felt like I was training that more directly, that quick, direct perception to be able to ask a question and find it without involving the intellect so much, which is much slower and more like a grinding process. So I just wanted to say that's just something that came to my mind, as well as this idea of a command language, which is like what a programmer is working, that the mind is not a machine, but it is like a computer. It is like a computer, and that it's programmable. So we get these programs running, these coping mechanisms or what have you, but then it can be deprogrammed and reprogrammed. And so this is how I see this is like the technical training you're offering. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you, both of you, and how generous you are and how kind you are to us. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing. And great to see you share your cognitions. Isn't it interesting? You talking it out, you're having more realizations and cognitions while you're doing it. Right? So it's not only for me to, hear where your guys are at, which I always want to hear, but it's also to give you the opportunity, like Faye just did, voicing how she's feeling and having cognitions while you're outputting information and talking about it. Gregors, go ahead.
I want to say that I am extremely, extremely honored to be here, to be a part of this call, of this 3-day clearing journey, be around like-minded, open-minded people, and going with you, Michael, with Lotus, to this clearing through all those realization. It's amazing. And I just want to share a couple words about how I see that important it is to put this clearing technique out into the world, how it's important it is to spread it, actually, to spread it everywhere, to give people the chance and opportunity to truly heal, to truly experience shift, to truly experience transformation, because there is too much pain, there is too much anxiety, there is too much aggression, depression, there is too much, like, all this chain from the system, from people who try to control the system, to limit the potential of beings here who live on this beautiful planet, and to help them to enslave themselves. This technique is a game changer. I was checking a lot of different techniques, different modalities, but this is a gem, this is a diamond that was hidden from the humanity, and it's time to spread it. And I feel like I kind of find my purpose to learn it and to spread it. And thank you so much that I am here and I can be here around you, Michael, Lotus, and all of you. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. It is special. Absolutely. Glad you're aware of it. And glad to have you as a practitioner of ours. Gregor's also does work with people English and Polish. I believe your email is support@theenergybubble.com. Right? Gregor's is also a great practitioner. He's a channeler, and and you do Reiki. You've been told that you have a very special spiritual gift with money clearings, which is amazing, and so forth. Yeah. So very good. Well, we're so glad that you were able to join us. If you want to join us on the path, please send us an email for more information. We're still working out those details, and so we're going to have a small group of people to go through this, because when there's 20 of you or 30 of you or so, it's a little bit hard to handle to get all the intricacies that all of this is meant for. So we're going to put together a small group of those of you who are actually dedicated to go down the whole track to help you there. And if you decide that's not for you, stay tuned for the next workshops that we do in the next weeks or months or so. And we're so glad that you were able to join with us. Lotus, would you like to share anything?
Oh my gosh. I'm tearing up. I'm feeling just so much raw emotion and gratitude. You know, if you'd known me 10 years ago, you would not recognize me. I went through a lot. I went through so much, and it has truly been through this work and through healing and through clearing that I have found myself, and I've found peace and light. And now it feels as it is my purpose, along with Michael and with all of you who join us, to assist those who are going through challenges, who are looking for a solution in a world where there should be more solutions, right? There should be more of them. And to see that this works, and to see the power it gives you all to shift and to become brighter. I mean, looking at all of you, you all have transformed over the last 3 days. I know I have. I see it so much. And oh, someone asked me if I was going to do the grounding again. Oh, that's cool. I'm feeling so grateful for all of you. I just want you to know that you're all beautiful, and you're so amazing that you've stuck it out and you're here, because it takes so much friggin' courage to face ourselves and to face the parts of us that are not comfortable and that are not safe and that are not like easy and effortless. And I just really want to commend you all for being here and for sticking through it. And so much gratitude to Michael. for joining me on this in this path and this purpose and this work, and the work he's done to unearth this is just out of this world. I can't believe what you've accomplished so far, and I'm so excited for what's coming. Michael, do I have permission to lead us out with the clearing here?
Sure, I would love to. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think you all are probably feeling a lot like I am. And that moon is big and beautiful and full, and so are all of your hearts. All of your hearts are big and beautiful and full, and I'm so grateful for all of you. So let's just call in and invite all of, as Gregors will say, the entourage. So your spiritual entourage, all your higher selves, the divine masters, the divine beings of love and light, and they are here, and they are so happy to be here. They're so happy for this work. It's like I'm almost overflowing with emotion. So just feel the love and light that is coming through for all of you, and take a deep breath in and out. When we're starting to open up to that light to come through, we're starting to open up to the energy of the pure source consciousness to come through. Good. And I want you to take and tune into your body to where there's still emotion. There's still old things that got brought up a lot, got brought up tonight. Okay. Feel that, tons of stuff. Feel it in your body. Where is it in your body? Where is it in your body? Where do you feel the intensity? Where is it still lingering? What is the color? What is the color? Take a deep breath in and out. Now you're going to build a fire with your hands. You're going to build a transmutational force. I want you to feel into your body where there's stuck energy. There's stuck emotions. Really feel into it. Notice in your body and notice your hands. Okay. So tune into your body. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Tune into the feeling in your body. Go into it more. Go into the body feeling. Where is it stuck? Where is it tight? Where is there fear? Where is there anxiety? Where is there anything left over that is not you? That is not yours. Deep breath in and out. Feel into the areas of your body that are still stuck. There's still stuck energy. Is it in your neck? Is it in your throat? Is it in your jaw? Is it in your ears? Is it in your bones? Is it in your nose? Is it in your heart? Deep breath in and out. Good. Feel it. What color is it? What color is it? Good. By the power of God, by the power of Spirit, by the power of the creator of all that is, it is commanded that all that stuck chi, all that stuck energy that you no longer need, by the power of God, it is commanded that it be pulled and cleared on the core, on the genetic, on the soul level. We command it to be pulled and resolved on the historical level. Take a deep breath in and out. And replaced on all levels with the Creator's truth and definition of pure, unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness. Now I want you to really put it into your hands. I'm going to actually stand up. I'm going to stand up. If you want to stand up, you can. I want you to just put in this whole last 3 days, all the stuff that got brought up. So much friggin' stuff got brought up. Shake it out, rub your hands together, get it out of your body, get it out of your bones, get it out of your heart, get it out of your nose by the power of God, by the power of Spirit, by the power of all that is. It is commanded, all this trapped, stuck energy, all the stuff that got brought up tonight, that got brought up yesterday, that's still lingering in your field by the power of God, by the power of Spirit. It is commanded all that stuck chi be allowed to release and clear. We command it to release and clear on the core, on the genetic, on the soul level, and be completely resolved on the historical level. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. By the power of God, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. By the power of God, shake it out by the power of Spirit. It is commanded all that stuck, dense energy in your DNA, in your source field, in your body, in your bones, be allowed to release and clear out of the core, out of your DNA, out of the genetic, out of the soul level, pulled and resolved on the historical level. Deep breath in and out. Woo! That's it. And replaced on all levels with the Creator's truth and definition of complete, pure, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, peace, and calm. shake out those last layers. And by the power of God, by the power of Spirit, it is commanded a complete unconditional love healing through all levels and layers of your body and being, through all directions of time and space, through your DNA, through your ancestry, through your DNA, through your lineage, through all directions of time and space. By the power of God, it is commanded a complete, pure, unconditional love healing through all levels and layers of your body and being, through all directions of time and space. Take a deep breath in and out. Ooh, la 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 la. Ooh, la 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 la. Beautiful. And it is commanded, God's Spirit, please download unto you the pure, unconditional, loving gifts that are yours, calling upon your highest self, your guides, and God and Spirit, and all the divine beings of love and light. By the power of God, it is commanded that you all be blessed with the divine gifts of love and light that you need on your path tonight, going forward, seeing yourself on that golden road. And we command that all the energetic downloads that we have gifted to you now and over the 3 days be applied to absolutely everything in your 3D universe, and that the path ahead be paved in gold, asking that all be applied to your 3D universe, your body, your heart, your soul, your mind, your friends, your family, your wallet, your pocketbook, every interaction through all directions of time and space. Now you are you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. By the power of God, it is commanded a complete blessing of unconditional love for you all. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. It is done. Deep breath in and out. We might need some grounding and integration here. I might imagine.
Okay.
Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
Okay, focus on integrating these shifts. Head squeeze, exhale once. Fully integration. Full embodiment. Okay, feeling fully grounded. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fully grounded do you feel? Notice that number. Focus on your second chakra. Head squeeze, exhale once with the intention to be fully grounded with this shift. Focus on your lower dantian, the energy center in the center of your abdomen, just below your belly button. Fully grounded. Tap your collarbone. Head squeeze, exhale once. Focus on integrating it again. Integration. Being fully integrated with these shifts and everything we went through in these last 3 days, and all the cognitions and all the realizations and the clearings. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you feel integrated with the work we've done? And carrying this forward into your life. And how it will sprout and grow in so many great new ways. Focus on your heart chakra. Head squeeze, exhale once. Releasing the blocks to being fully integrated. On a scale of 1 to 10, now, how much do you feel integrated? Tap your chin. Still focused on the heart chakra. Crown chakra. Head squeeze, exhale twice. I mean, fully integrated. Good. Deep breath in and out. And notice how much better you feel compared to before. And may you never be the same and forever be even better. Fantastic. Relyn, thank you for your comment. Amen. This is such an amazing meditation. It was an amazing prayer activation. Prayer Lotus. Great to meet you this weekend. This is amazing. Lotus, I've been practicing Christian many years, and it's been amazing how you do both, seeing in the astrology plane and yet operating with the gifts of the Holy Spirit. That's a great way to say it. Thank you. Well, until next time, we will see you again. Much love to you all. Thank you for being with us.
We love you so much. Y'all are beautiful. Grateful for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael and Lotus. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank
Michael. Liz.
you.
Have a great night and all the best.
Good night, guys.